All right, it's early. We're heading outside. We're gonna try and beat the sun and clear out our raised garden beds. All right, let's go. All right, let's get into this garden. So I have my loppers and my shears, but first I want to remove the shade screen or the long grow bed. Okay, let's trim up the dead eggplants before getting into the big stuff. I'm just going to throw them back into the bed so that they can be used up by future plants. Alright, time to cut the sugar cane. One of these small shepherd hooks is in here. That was so satisfying to pull out. And it looks like I found the irrigation line. I'm going to pull out these garden stakes. I was using these to support the canes and the windstorms that we get through this area, but they won't be necessary anymore. Alright, the sun is moving fast, so let's speed this up. So what I'm doing is cutting about 1 to 2 inches above the soil line. That way the sugarcane isn't actually being killed by me cutting it back. I'm just removing the old canes and it will regrow from the nodes left behind. And you can see there are some very green canes. Those are the ones that regrew since the spring. Alright, let me show you what the bed looks like now. So here you can see there are some green shoots coming up. And these are the canes I cut down probably about 2 inches. I give it about a week or two, you'll start seeing new growth. And then we're going to do the same thing on this bed. And you can see the beds were about half empty. Alright, we're going to do the same thing in the second bed. First I'm going to trim up some of the dead plants and pull out the large debris. I like keeping the root balls because it helps condition the soil, and a lot of times there's good microbes associated with the root balls. This is a expired calendula, but there are seed heads at the end. That's part of the reason I let it go. And we're going to trim up the eggplants. I'm going to throw the fruit into the beds as food for the future plants. When the eggplants are orange like this, they're overripe. And now we can move on to the sugarcane. And I love these garden stakes, they're so useful. I have a ton of them. So you can see the beds are definitely about half empty. There's an eggplant and lemongrass that looks pretty good. So I think I'll try and lift these out and see if I can transplant them into a pot. I have a ton of canes. Once they dry out, they'll make great mulch. Alright, so we pulled out our lemongrass. And I'm just going to trim back this eggplant, because I'm bound to lose some roots when I try to pull this out of the grow bed. And that should help reduce transplant shock, but we'll see. This plant's probably about 2 years old. So we got the eggplant. We'll think about whether or not we'll keep it in the pot. So now that I cleared that bed out, I can see the watermelon plant much better, and it looks like it's set of fruit. And it's doing quite well in here with the sugar cane. So since I have a lot of plants growing in these 3 beds that are happy and actually blooming and producing, I'm just going to clean this up lightly. So just remove the old dead sugar cane, or I should say dying sugar cane. And that'll be it for these beds. It also just gives space for new green canes to grow. But I'm not going to clean it up too much because I don't want to remove this cover for the plants that are thriving in here. So the eggplant looks pretty rough. I think we're just going to put that back in the bed for future plants to eat. Well, thank it for its service. Alright, so this is how I plan to refill the beds. This is soil gathered from all of my containers that had plants that had perished from the heat. They're usually annuals and they're out of season for us at least. So I emptied all the soil here, mixed it up, watered it, covered it with a tarp, and let it solarize for a few days. And now we're going to add steer manure. This should heat it up even more. I'm going to add more water and cover it back up. And after about a week, I'll go ahead and add this to the raised garden beds. So for this much soil, I added 2 bags of steer manure, and then I'm just going to deeply water. Try and saturate the entire pile. And we'll go ahead and cover it back up. And it's already starting to get hot. We're going to head inside. Alright, so we made it back inside. Let's check on our seedlings and see how they're doing since we're doing all of this for them. Alright, let's go. Basil, super ready. See if our purple's in there. Yep, they're doing good. Looks like we're gonna do some watering after this. You're already getting lanky. I've already been taking them outside to get used to the heat. They seem to like the heat like fertilizer. They popped up. Pigeon peas coming up. And here's our callow. Let's take a look. They also really like going out for some heat in the evenings. Alright, this red variety is really taking off. They all look great. Cool. back. Closer look at our pigeon peas. And up here, cucumbers. Yay, that's exactly what I need. All right. Squash, light pumpkins. We're gonna squeeze in a few okra. Up top, we still have our, there you go, strawberries, pea sprouts, getting wild, geraniums,